Adam Schefter, free agent running back DeMarco Murray and Jonathan Stewart will both check in with the Detroit Lions today. Also from Shefty, Cardinals expected to release running back Adrian Peterson. That was early this morning. Jeff Darlington tells us the plan is the Dolphins will do the same for defensive tackle Ndamukong Suh. That could come as early as today. And our Dan Graziano says the Raiders will release cornerback Sean Smith. The move will save the team $8.5 million against the cap. Coming up on NFL Live, today marks the day teams are allowed to contact agents of players who will become unrestricted free agents. It is also known as the legal tampering period. Glad to have you with us. Wendy Nix, Adam Schefter, Field Yates, and Louis Riddick. The start of what should be a very busy week on the NFL calendar. The new league year officially begins on Wednesday, which has led, of course, to a flurry of moves in the last few days. This move has yet to come, but is expected. Miami is planning to release Ndamukong Suh sometime, perhaps today, according to Jeff Darlington. As I mentioned, the Dolphins move on from Suh as they continue to attempt a culture change, a plan that already led to the trades of wide receiver Jarvis Landry and running back Jay Ajayi. One reason why the team is expected to move on: Suh has the third highest cap hit in the league next season at just over $26 million. And of the 8 players with a cap hit of at least $23 million in 2018, he is the only one who is not a quarterback. The list: quarterback, Suh, quarterback, which leads us to this overreaction Monday. Ndamukong Suh is still an impact player. Louis, is that an overreaction?
No, that's not an overreaction. He's still an impact player. It's just a matter of when is he going to be an impact player. That is the problem with Suh. That's always been the problem with Suh. That is why a contract like this, look, you just throw out the whole culture part of it. That's why a contract like this is hard to really swallow, because you just don't know what you're going to get. And see, that is the risk of free agency. When you pay someone like this, are you going to get the performance that you got previously once someone has the kind of financial security that Suh has, and when someone has the kind of makeup that Suh has, which quite honestly is one where he's hot and cold. It's just a fact. We all know it. And that's why now he is going to be sent packing and have to find a new football team. But look, there's no question that when he feels like it, especially on third down, he can absolutely collapse the interior of a pocket like nobody's business. You just don't know when you're going to get that. I don't know how you value that. You certainly don't value it at a $26 million cap number.
No, I think, Field, you have to put an asterisk on any player with that kind of money when you say if he wants to.
That's not an exaggeration.
That shouldn't enter into the equation, but I'll ask you the same question. Overreaction or not an overreaction, that Suh is still an impact player?
Not an overreaction. The best way I can describe it is this. In speaking to people this morning, since the news came out via Jeff Darlington, those who are paid by their teams to simply evaluate the talent have said, heck yeah, I want Ndamukong Suh. Those who are paid to not only evaluate the talent, but also devise contracts for the talent, hey, listen, they're a little bit more, not skeptical, but they're like, yeah, he's a fantastic player. He is still an impact player. But how much are you willing to pay him? To Lewis's point, it's got to be a perfect marriage of scheme and motivation for a player that, at his best, has Hall of Fame ability. At his worst, has been inconsistent.
It's amazing because a few years ago, on the very first day of free agency, Ndamukong Suh was talked about as the #1 free agent. And it's just a reminder that today we're talking about a lot of different players. 2-3 years down the line, they'll probably be facing, some of them will be facing the same fate that Ndamukong Suh is this week. And I also should add here that the Miami Dolphins, I think, have had some trade talks regarding Ndamukong Suh, and I don't think they've given up entirely on the idea that they could hopefully get him dealt. Unlikely. Probably not going to happen. But they have a couple of days this week to see if there's another team out there that would be willing to trade for him, redo his contract, a team that doesn't get a defensive lineman at once, and maybe makes a move. Unlikely, but not out of the question.
The Browns haven't made a trade in like 36 hours.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Dial them up.
Give him time. Give him time. What's interesting is that the inconsistency notwithstanding, Suh has been durable. He's played the most snaps among defensive tackles in the last 3 seasons. As we also mentioned in our timeline off the top, Adrian Peterson likely to be released by the Arizona Cardinals. So we continue with this statement on Overreaction Monday. Adrian Peterson is still an impact player. Field, I'll start with you there.
Yeah, that's an overreaction for me, Wendy. The bottom line for Adrian Peterson is that he had a marvelous quick stretch for the Arizona Cardinals after he was traded last season from the New Orleans Saints. But he's a 1 or 2 down player. And in the NFL, you're looking for running backs who are going to be on the field for at least 3 downs, and in some cases 4 downs. Those are guys who can contribute on special teams as well. 11 catches last season for Adrian Peterson. Yes, he missed some time due to injury, but if he's not going to be able to play on third down, if he's not going to be able to play in up-tempo situations or in second and long situations, how much value can you possibly extract from that kind of player?
Yeah, it's an overreaction. He will have spurts. He had spurts this past year. Remember the game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the game against 49ers? You just saw some of those highlights. You saw some of the old AP or AD, whatever you want to call him. He's a guy who behind the line of scrimmage still has quickness, and when he hits the hole, he makes defensive backs make some decisions about, do I really want some of this or not? But it's a great point. The game has changed as far as running backs are concerned. You see what they have to be now. People want multiple running backs, meaning your skill set, meaning third down, can you catch the ball? Because you want to own the area between the numbers now. That's where all the yardage is there to take now offensively. He just doesn't have that skill set. He never really did as far as a pass catcher is concerned, but that's where the game's moving.
Well, he's not going to be a every down guy that's the number one back on a team. And somebody that's been that for so long, you wonder if they could accept that. But the fact of the matter is he can still make a meaningful contribution to a team, but it's in the right spot at the right times. It's not going to be what he's used to. And I think a lot of people have to get used to sometimes accepting that they're not going to be that 25 carry a game guy, and maybe he has 8 really productive carries.
What's interesting about him is he's the kind of guy you kind of fit in once the puzzle's pretty much already done. You fit him in at the end. He's not the guy who you have like one of the centerpieces and then you fit everything else around it. That's why, look, he'll probably sit. If he doesn't go back to Arizona, he's going to sit for a while until teams figure out the rest of their rotation at running back.
Well, listen, Adam makes a great point. He's got to accept that. He's got to know where he is and where he lands in his career. Peterson, one rushing touchdown away from becoming the 9th player to rush for 100 touchdowns in NFL history.
This is the Empire.
Free agency? Why wait till then? Richard Sherman released, Mike Evans extension, and here we thought the Rams were the ones making noise on the trade market.
The Rams got to keep Talib from Broncos.
Wade Phillips got to be the happiest person in the NFL right now. He has acquired Aqib Talib, Marcus Peters.
That's until the Cleveland Browns decided to start their roster overhaul early.
You have a trade, another trade.